Hello, we're back once again on the Chatterbox with yours truly, none other King Jacob. Um, this is Excuse me. This is Exquisite Conversation podcast in association with the Chatterbox, sponsored and powered by Exquisite PR firm. And we have none other than AJ Chaka. Recording artist, songwriter, innovator, social media influencer. All that and then some. So thank you everybody for tuning in. So AJ, man, who is AJ Chaka?
Man, AJ Chaka, starting out, and before I give this answer, definitely want to say thank you for having me on here, for the opportunity. But yeah, who is AJ Chaka, right? The guy, he's a multifaceted being. He has a lot of skill sets. But all in all, if we just talking about the brand, AJ Chaka is pretty much, a representative of Neo Gold, and I'm a hip hop artist. I'm a consultant. I do a lot of different things. Originally just representing hip hop, for the most part, and with my music, my goal is to pretty much curate a sound that's for all people, and just lift the people up. So.
Okay, I can dig it. I can dig that, man. So when and where did this journey within the music business start for AJ Chaka?
Yeah, shoot, it started out about 2016. I came out of high school around that time, and so I've been, pretty much been around music the whole time. But that's when I was pretty much making a full transition. I'd probably say even 2015. Really, it was a developmental stage, but around that time frame, 15, 16, got into the business. Started Neo Gold Entertainment / Music Group, or Neo Gold Records, with my mom, and then so we've been on and cracking ever since, and really getting our feet wet in this industry.
Okay. So, in what state was that in when you started?
Yeah, we created Neo Gold as a company in Texas.
Texas. And what part of Texas is that?
Dallas.
Dallas. Okay. So yeah, shout out to my Cowboys Nation, man. For real. Yeah, yes, sir. All the way live.
I
So,
mess people up, man.
what'd you say?
I was saying I be messing people up out here, out in the Dallas area, because I'm a Giants fan. What I'm saying?
It's fine, man. You still NFC East, so it's just all
Yeah,
good.
it's all good.
It's all good. And so, with that being said, man, tell me about the very first time that you recorded your first single, and how was that for you mentally and emotionally?
Right. Now, man, I think that was about. I had recorded a lot of music, but the one that had got placed in 2017, starting out with Trill, I was really just a kid getting my feet wet, still in the game. I was excited. We just, I knew I was like, all right, this is gonna be the beginning of something. I don't know how the people are gonna perceive it. Some people who knew I rap, but it was kind of an incognito thing. Once I kind of revealed it, like, oh shit, you about to rap, like, people just always knew I moved in a nice, strategic way, smooth with it, just kind of in my own lane. But, around that time frame, I was, fresh out of high school, like 1 year. I was excited, man. I was recording at a lot of different places, really just getting my feet wet, developing my skills. And Trill had came out. And, I think around that time, Johnny had got about like over like 10K on SoundCloud, so for back then, that's like an early buzz starting to develop, on the first track. So I was like, okay, wow, I might have something. But, around that time, I didn't take it too serious, but I definitely knew that, I was going to keep going from that point on. And a lot of people still love Trill to this day.
Okay. So, was that just a song? Was that a mixtape or a whole project, or tell me about that?
Yeah, it was just a single, pretty much. John had came out just about 2017. I think I dropped it like the top of the year. Part of my information, I don't have a particular producer who did that record. It's been a couple of years, but yeah, we had did that joint, and so it was a good song. People felt it, but yeah, it's pretty much just a single. I came that, and I just wanted to start laying singles out from that point on, pretty much.
Okay, cool. So what's the name of the label that you and your mother started? Can you tell us that again?
Yeah, Neo Gold Entertainment / Music Group, or Neo Gold Records.
Okay, Neo Gold. So tell us the conversation that was had when you and your mom started the group, because you know that's that mother and son powerful duo. And so, you know, ain't nobody gonna support you like your mom do. So how was that for you as an artist and as a son?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, of course, mom dude's gonna support you, right? But she definitely about her business, So I already knew that in the first hand when I told her like, hey, I think I want to rap, I'm gonna do it for real. And she was like, around that time, just developing. I used to give her songs, right? And she'd be like, "Boy, get that trash up out of here. Get up out of here. You gotta come with something better than that." You know what I mean? And I'll just keep coming back every time. To the point where one day I just came with something that was real dope, and she was like, "Dang, this boy might actually be onto something now." You know what I'm saying? And that's just that trial and error. You know what I mean? Just working out the kinks of your craft, and came with something. But really, from that point on, yeah, we want to credit Neo Gold, and she's really just been providing the service for the people, really just being a company for artists, to really like artist empowerment and really to lift them up from that point on.
Okay. So as far as you know, your position in Neo Go, do you play the executive position as well, or do you just play the artist position?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, I
Okay.
play
So
both.
did you start off playing both, or did you have to grow into the executive role?
Yeah, I had to grow into it. Definitely my thing. A lot of times now when it's AJ Chaka mode, in regards to like AJ Chaka brand and content coming out and stuff like that, I'm just jumping back into artist mode, and I got my whole team around me, who all play their parts. Here at Neo Gold got Elegant Events PR, right? Got shout out to MJ Hip Hop Connects, my publicist. And then we got nickel plated music with the marketing connective music group. So I got a whole team of different organizations and people that are involved in the AJ Chakra brand. So we kind of all work together in collaboration with Neil Gold to push me out. But as far as the executive role though, yeah, I just pretty much had to grow into it. You know what I mean? Over the time, just growing up, you get more experience. One of the first things we did when I was young was we went and learned about the music industry. Just getting
Mhm.
books about learning about publishing and just real copyright, just a lot of deep stuff that a lot of people wasn't really talking about unless you had to pay them a lot of money for it. But it's in the book that's for like $20. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, 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 right. I can dig it. So
Yeah.
upon you doing that, man, let's talk about it's a series of things that we're going to talk about. Let's talk about contract negotiations and how well an artist should understand contractual agreements and what is in that bold black fine print that most artists don't understand.
Everything. Everything's in it. I'm talking about in the sole identity of you being the owner of your brand versus giving it to somebody else for a percentage base, right? So, starting out early, we used to study the business role or pretty much the business model of different artists. I look at them from over time, different successful acts, or maybe some acts who fell off. And it's like, okay, let me look at what they did and see how they got to this position and why things played out in the way it did for them. In a lot of cases, I guess you would hear back in the day with stories about artists from the '90s signing like 360 deals. I mean, it still happens now, but pretty much artists, signing deals. They're not getting their publishing. They're not getting payments, or the label, they're giving them all this stuff, and it's pretty much running up the expenses for what needs to be recouped on the album. So in that case, that means the label's going to get all that, and by the time that money's even recouped, we really ain't got nothing much. Maybe you could buy, a car or something, but I mean, so learning about contracts is really everything. It's a lot of artists to the, we in a new era now. We're talking about ownership, right? And I think that's a good topic because number one, that's something that a lot of people need to aspire to, just for the sole uh, representation of what it really is. You know what I'm saying? And what that can lead to with ownership. Because it's a power, that you can give to yourself, especially through an extension of time, like something like music. You can't see music, you know what I'm saying? You can't touch it, but you can feel it. And, it's sold, aside from a physical piece, right? Like a CD or, a vinyl, it's on the site. So it's through, pretty much an electronic device where you can't touch the sound of it pretty much, you know what I'm saying? So the value of it can be equated on a different scale. So definitely people really need to learn about the whole business. I really recommend that to everybody. I've read, I'm not gonna say the artist's name right now, but it's big acts right now. I'm talking about people like if they want to, they want to aspire to be them, right? They're mainstream commercial successful acts that get the top look, but they don't even own their masters. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have the majority in their publishing. So and in a lot of cases I've heard where they haven't even read the contract and they're just willing to sign for based on what sounds good versus what's read, and oh, this doesn't make sense.
Okay. So, with that being said, I've been in the music business since about 1997. Started off with club promotions, street team promotions. Very first person I did street promotions for was Noriega on the What Noriega tour, and this was in Washington D.C. Um, and so, with that being said, how like I see a lot of artists rely on the internet nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
How important is it to really be hand to hand combat with your fans, really going out in the streets and really promoting yourself and letting the fans understand that I value y'all, I appreciate y'all. Like y'all are the ones that really make me go so hard because it's this certain liking that y'all give me. It's this certain motivation, and when I read y'all messages, it still motivates me. So, how important it is for artists to still be in the streets with their music during this digital era?
And for AJ Chaka, right? That's important. But for another artist, based on what the kind of music they're making, I'm not sure if they could even go in the street to be able to be like that with their fans. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely, grassroots. I mean, it's pretty much the foundation. My whole framework, for my business model was built on going out in these streets, really touching these people, letting them feel my energy, and pretty much me showing them what it is and them respecting it from, once they see it. So I love that, letting them know that, I appreciate them. One of my first songs was called Leo, right? It's out on YouTube, and that pretty much that was blowing up in the area, and I was getting some traction online as well. I had guys, even if this isn't in person, I had guys, from like Europe, you know what I'm saying, Germany, Czech Republic, that people in Tokyo sending me a message like, "Hey man, this song's good, man. Keep going, doing your thing." And that's probably at a point where I was trying to transition out of a hard phase, so that I was going through in life. So to see stuff like that was like, wow, what I'm saying? I think I'm doing the right thing, So definitely connecting with these people, you get to get receipts back on, pretty much a return on your investment. Not and when I say that, I don't just mean by funds. Like the funds might not just be liquid in regards to holding a piece of cash or having that in your bank account. Like, the funds that you can be getting is something that's actually fun, right? Where in regards to people giving you support, they cheer, they boosting you in the message, they buying the merch, they buying the album and really supporting the movement because they like, wow, I think this person's really on to something. Man, let me support them. I think they about to go far, and just over the years, I've been doing in this game now, 8 years now. Coming on in December, I've been in this game 8 years, and I'm only 24 years old. I feel like I'm just getting started, and that's definitely still going to be a part of my formula in regard to touching the people, grassroots, and letting them know that I appreciate them because that's what my music is based on anyway. So that's definitely the
Right.
movement. I think more artists can benefit from it.
My man. So for you to be 24 years old, man, you're definitely dropping some jewels, and I definitely appreciate your dialogue. And
Thank
so you're welcome. The next thing we'll talk about is music publishing, royalties, and points. So, how important is that music publishing, royalty, and points to you as an artist, being that you've been in it 8 years already? What are some jewels that you can drop on indie artists that really don't understand that that's a major part of the business?
Yeah, some people, I put it to you like this: some people they might want an upfront payment, but in the long run, you could get you a point. And one of my favorite examples of that is I believe 50 Cent, when he had put out Get Rich or Die Trying, he had a friend who was involved, one of his producers from that time before he had blew up, right? And that guy in particular wanted the cash advance for the work that he had did on the album. But in negotiation, 50 was giving him advice that perhaps he should get a point on there, maybe a point or two, and figure out like that. And I believe the guy turned it down, and had he agreed to get a point on that, he could have made, just off a point on the album, he could have got about, I think, $2 million just off of 1 or 2 points,
Mm-hmm.
and a half, so in the cash advance that he wanted was 30,000, I believe, or 50,000. So we got $50,000 up front, or you can get a point and potentially get more than that forever. I think that one sounds nice to me, because if you're in the music business, one thing that you got to know is that this is a timing thing as well. This game operates on the clock about timing. Like, you got to catch the right time frame to do certain things. In other cases, there's times where you could just do it on a whim and it'll work because it fits that situation. But this is really a timing thing, and if people could definitely play onto the cards of that, I would definitely like to be a part of the publishing aspect or getting a point, because that's forever, right? So if I die, or excuse me, when I die, right, my estate will be taking that over, and they'll be able to benefit from that song, and the other person's estate will be able to benefit from that song, and families will still be getting taken care of, over time. So, I mean, that's even going into the aspect of generational wealth, right? In a sense, so in the fact that the record becomes a successful smash, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right. That's
But
right. That's right.
that's the goal anyway. I think if somebody wants to be a part of it, at least that's just my point of view. But
Right.
definitely get your publishing, man. Get a split sheet. A lot of artists, in the scene, they still need to learn about the business. So get you a split sheet. Set up your publishing. You can become your own publishing owner as well, like your own publishing company and a songwriter. Like this, you can knock that out. And be benefiting from that. It's a lot of different organizations out there that pretty much, that's going to provide that service for you. But publishing is important. Getting a point is important. I know that's kind of on the major label system, but that's something to negotiate for in the long run. But if you could be one of those people who get cash up front and get a point, you a bad one.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You a bad
So if you can, if
yeah.
if you can be like Havoc from Mobb Deep,
Right.
and you can get a million up front and you get 3 points.
Yeah,
Listen, man. Listen,
that's great.
because we talk about a million up front, and them 3 points is gonna bring you about 2.5 million a piece on the points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's great. So um let's talk about artist manager agreements. And what do you expect as an artist from a manager, and what should a manager expect from you as an artist, and how do the two coincide together?
Right. I think under a good formula, the manager and the artist are gonna, they're gonna be like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They just go together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But unfortunately, we're in a business where it's a lot of people who have ulterior motives in a business form. So you really gotta be watchful who you want to put in that position to be your manager, because when we talk about someone being the manager for an artist, that is a very, I just want people to really understand, like, that's a really serious position that they're playing in your career, and in regards to helping you in your development and helping you ascend to the next level, especially in regards to someone who's having your back on the business level, who's like, hey, I don't think this is the best thing for your interests. So you always got to read between the lines. But if you got someone who's good, they're showing that they're there for you. They don't, they show up every time. They prompt, they on point with it. That's somebody to work with. And I'm just blessed, that my mom is that person for me. So maybe I got lucky then. I feel like, because you got mom dudes, right? But she knows the game, and I do too. So it's like it's a different thing. Like, people, they'll look at it like, oh, your mom, your manager. But it's like, shoot, she'd be like, son, let's get this bag. Or I'll be like, mama, come on, let's get this bag real quick. You know what I'm saying? And it's different at that point. So the agreement in regards to, having management, I mean, standard rate, I guess, between 10 to 20%. This is someone who's working. I don't want people to get discouraged by, oh, they got to get that much off of you. Then, then the publishing, like, it's a lot of pieces, in order to become a, I would say a successful act in music. It takes a village, and a lot of people, that's something that they don't know sometimes, is that, you have different pieces in your business that are helping. It's supposed to be like like pretty much like a wheel, a cog in the machine, where that wheel, you got different pieces that go together and spin. So once they connect, it goes in unison. And the manager happens to be one of those main bigger pieces, especially in regards to reviewing the contracts and setting up different business situations. But they have other positions for that as well. I would say for someone, if they want to get a manager, to wrap this up, I would, pretty much make sure it's at a stage where your business is starting to gain some traction, or you're at a serious stance where you're looking to make real moves in your career, and you need someone who can help you alongside those steps, even though you're self-sufficient.
Say that again. Back up. Back up. We're gonna say it for the people who sitting on the back of the church pew. Back up.
Right.
He just said, let me quote, make sure that you're driven in so many, he said driven in so many words, and make sure that the manager is on the level that you own, because you have been self-sufficient in your music career for years before you have a manager.
Right. You're your first manager at first, and then when you get someone to come in and be a manager for you, now it's like, okay, yeah, we about to take it to the next level. This is real. This is business. I don't want to give people a false, people come in with a false, especially like hip hop. They see me being the MC, like, oh, your mom, they like, it's an NBA thing, like, oh, mom's trying to, get the kid to the league. It's like, nah, it's like, this is real business. When it's time for business time, shame my mom. Shame my mom. When it's business
to your manager, and not only that, she is somebody that you can trust without a reason, shadow of doubt.
Absolutely. So then when we switch back to moms, like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? So I trust both. And people got to know this is business. This is serious. You can't be wasting people's time. So that's always something to be kept in, and being self-sufficient. Yeah.
Right. And so the next thing we're going to talk about is music licensing, and how important music licensing is to an indie artist. It's important to a mainstream artist, but the importance of an indie artist getting a check for $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 every quarter, because your music is playing on reality TV shows, web series, Netflix, Hulu, documentaries, NBA 2K, John Madden, like, so. And I tell people that if an indie artist is smart, they can check the bag real early, but you have to study this business in order to know how to check the bag.
Right.
And so let's talk about the music licensing, man, and how important that is for indie artists.
Definitely. So I'm involved in a dope situation with Connective Music Group, and I'll just pretty much run you the play. So this will pretty much give context to what you just said. Connective Music Group, they handle sync licensing, right? So what is that? Like you just said, we getting the music on TV, film, commercials, video games, stuff like that. I was involved in the songwriting competition. They had brought me in on the cool play where I think it was like maybe 12 to 16 artists, and we had to write a song for the NFL and Got Milk on a national syndicated pretty much marketing campaign for a TikTok song that, and the cool part about it, it was gonna they said it was gonna get 1 billion views. That's what they said. Right. Part of the play that, it's gonna get 1 billion, and that's the aiming and targeting for this. So, it was involving an NFL player, shout out to him, was a former player of the Steelers. And it was a dope opportunity, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get selected for it, but I pretty much I'm still working with the people. So looking at that play though, I just remember scrolling like on the Instagram feed one day and I seen the winner of the song. I didn't know who won. So I seen the song, like, oh, okay. And they marketed the name of the title. We all had this pre-established, you know what I'm saying? And seeing that was like, whoa, like that joint really got 1 billion views, like just like they said it would, you know. So definitely put me on game in a different aspect. Like, okay, I was doing grassroots before. Like I'm touching these people, I'm letting them know that I appreciate them, you know, whoop de wop, and I love them, right, for the music and the support. Then it's like, okay, well, um, in that particular play, the people who created that song, you get the full publishing rights on it too. So I'm sitting back like, well, okay, well, I know this person just made maybe more than, you know, in the publishing, they're gonna be making 30,000 plus. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, whoa, that's different then, you know, because if you're building a system where it's grassroots, yeah, we're touching with the people, but it's a slow grind, you know, like it's like you putting up one brick down, one brick up, one brick down, you know, just keep going like that. But to be able to be put into a situation was like where the winner can just get 30 bands just like that, you know. And I still, even though I didn't win, I still got a check. So again, you know, going back to what you said, that's putting you in the element where independent artists can start getting the bag. And there's, you know, definitely more opportunities on the table, especially with more coming in the future. So I definitely suggest that, you know, artists, if you're serious about your craft, you want to go far, or you just want to be able to put out music and actually make some money from it, you know, I would definitely take a deep dive into the music licensing aspect for sure.
Right, right, right. And so you heard it first, man. You know, Exquisite Conversations live with AJ Chaka, man, and
Yeah.
we're in depth about this music business. We're in depth about him as an artist, him as an entrepreneur, him as a music executive, and him as a person who want to help his people win. And so, you know, I'm live with him tonight, and so we thank everybody who is tuning in. And so the next order of business is we're going to talk about radio campaigning.
Oh
And
yeah.
the reason why I can really talk to this young king about this radio campaigning, like when I interview artists, I look them up. You know, I Google them. Went on many sites that he's on, and I seen the she blogging, and I'm definitely familiar. And talked about, you know, him charting Billboard, and so man, let's just talk about what type of radio campaign that you and your mama ran in order for you to chart Billboard, man.
Yeah, definitely. So shout out to you know, MJ Savino, Hip Hop Connects, you know, that's my publicist. And yeah, you know, pretty much my mom Dukes had knew her, you know, we just different, you know, connects in the business. And you know, we wanted to do some work with her for a long time, and the opportunity was right. It had started out around the time of last year, and I want to say May 2021. During that time of getting ready to release Trill as It Gets, I think Mike Check was just getting ready to come out. That was a song featuring John Jiggs that did real well for me. That was my first radio single that, you know, I had you know, shopped other radio singles the years prior onto radio, and I would get a few stations that would play me. But it was during that time, once we had put out Mike Check, that was the first time that I really had like a booming radio campaign. Like people like I was still sending to people, but like it was people who was just picking it up because they heard it on this station, and then they was just playing it on a station, and then it just started happening kind of everywhere, kind of thing. I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Where you can start getting played in like different countries all over the world. You got DJs, like shout out to all the DJs too for being tapped in, like different hip hop DJs with good reputable platforms. They didn't build they whole brand up, and they, you know, they put me in the mix with some real heavy hitters. So that's, you know, really put me on the map for where they see me in the context of my music. So stuff like that was like, wow, you know what I mean? That radio play definitely something that artists should be looking into for, you know, at least when I was a kid, you know, it wasn't streaming back then, right? When I was real young. So it was just radio. You heard it, you know, radio, a mixtape, CD, you know, or maybe somebody had a cassette still, or, you know, yeah, Rhapsody, whatever, you know, or you seen it on TV. You know, it's as simple as that, you know. And shoot, I just remember being, you know, I was like, man, it's pretty cool, hearing music on the radio. And this was even a time before I even thought of doing music, like just an imaginative thought, like, man, it'd be cool to, if I had a song on the radio, but who would know that far off, just a little small thought like that I didn't even take serious would lead to it actually becoming, a reality. So I definitely take it as something, people can get paid from it. Definitely on the different royalties for it, for your songs and all those different plays. So people definitely, send your songs to the radio and get it plugged in if you got good records. And, I don't want people to get discouraged as well. And plus the radio spins as well. They offer more. They offer more. It's not like streaming where, you put out, you get paid like 0.000, like whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was just about to say that, bro. I was just about to say that, man. And see, I try to tell artists all the time, man, screaming is okay, bro. But the biggest communication of any sector in the music business is always going to be radio campaigning. No matter what people tell you, that you don't need the radio, I'm going to tell you, like Marvin Povia said, and that was a lie.
Right.
Yeah, for you need that radio. Radio campaigning is still the biggest source.
Definitely.
And so, man, so how many times have you actually charted Billboard?
So with the Trill As It Gets joint, I don't think I charted. I was getting close to, I believe, reaching the Heat Seekers chart, but what had happened was I had somebody from Billboard Hip Hop who had heard my album, right? And they're like, I guess they were just blown away by it when I had put it out at that time. And shoot, they just made it the Billboard Hip Hop Album of the Week, and they wanted people to check it out on their site. And I was like, wow, I was blown away from that. So, I could definitely say that, man, did that radio play help influence that? Because I was getting played on some different FM stations, shout out to people in Chicago. It was like New York, California, overseas, a lot of different places, it was radio. So, and I had meetings with the people who do the charting, and stuff. So just talking with them different companies and, and they put me on game about where I'm at and the trajectory where I can go, what I'm doing, it was just a whole new thing to me. So it was like, okay, wow, it's pretty cool. But I like that point you had said earlier though, right? Where you said that regardless of what people were trying to pretty much make you think, that radio is still the dominant factor as far as getting played. And I definitely want to take a hint to that too. I don't know the percentage base of which sector makes the most money, but I'll tell you this though, because this really supports what you said. I still hear the top stars on radio. You know what I'm saying? Like you can put your joint out streaming, you can have your own fans and stuff, but I'm like, yo, there's a certain set of cats that I'm still hearing on like major FM radio, and they dominating that joint. I'm like, when you consider the fact that if you know how much you get paid on radio, that could be between $3 to $7 or $3 to $8 per spin. So when you getting spin on a station that's, they got an average daily listener of like 250,000, and they're playing the same songs in rotation, and with each spin you get paid $3 to $7 per ratio of person that's spinning. Whoa, I'm like, oh, these dudes are getting money. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, this is different.
So check this out, man. The really excite your point. The rapper Nas has an album called Stillmatic. Nas made his daughter Tiana the exec producer of Stillmatic, and ever since she was 2 years old, she have receiving a check for $400,000 every quarter. Ever since she was 2 years old.
Right.
So, I mean, bro, listen, man.
Right. I mean, right. That's generational wealth right there. Like,
yeah. So with that radio play, man,
serious.
I tell people, and I want to give a shout out to Sadiq Bryan out in Brooklyn, New York. It's a lot of FM program directors, but it's only 4 radio brokers in America, and he's one of them. And when you run a campaign with a radio broker, that make the executives from iHeartRadio ask, who is this cat? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so just because that's called radio real estate. Once you're a radio broker, there's radio real estate. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so, yeah,
That's
so that's
dope.
a
I
whole
ain't gonna
different
skip
level.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and if any of you want to get in contact with Sadiq, man, I can put you like he's a great friend of mine, big brother to me, so I can definitely put you in touch with him, man. So,
Thank you.
but yes, sir. But you upon you understanding the levels of the radio campaigning, let's talk about the level of bloggers and music influencers and how
Yeah.
it has helped you as well.
Man, I want to say really shout out to all the blog again. Shout out to MJ Hip Hop Connects, but shout out for pushing and getting me connected with more bloggers and websites. But man, that was when I first started. I came like when I think when I became like a real hip hop head was when I was like between 10 up, and that was during the blog era. So I used to go on these different hip hop websites that were blowing up, Two Dope Boys, Hot New Hip Hop, She Blogging, DJ Boo. It's a whole bunch of websites, right? And I will go on there, read these articles about these different MCs or what's going on in the cult, what's the fashion. And I always like, man, one day, man, I'm gonna get one of my joints on there too, and they gonna post about me. So that was always one of my goals when I first started, more in my earlier stages of my career. I used to just send emails out anytime I released music, or I would just send emails out to blogs. I would like find their email, the contact information. Sometimes they have a submission form on their website. I would really go like a real hard deep dive because I'm like, man, I really want my joint on their platform. I think my music fit.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
But
that they give the things where they say, we get X amount of submissions every day. But I always tell people, if you believe in your music and what you're making and it's dope and you definitely seen that out in the public, it's like, nah, definitely seeing your joint in. Somebody got to hear that because they're gonna be like, they're gonna be playing joints, but they be like, hold on, hey, that's like some good music, and they gonna know when they hear it, So shout out to the blogs. They've been pushing me, I think since from Leo, from that Trilluminati, from my first song up. I've been getting pushed by different websites and blogs, put me out there, and that's helped me to make, a real organic set of fans as well, who just discovered me off of there, just like how I
right,
did with other artists. So it worked out, right?
no doubt, no doubt. And then might I add that you have one of the coldest hip hop publishers in the game, and people who don't know about MJ been around since Jesus was a baby. Stop playing, bro. Like for real, man. She
Yeah.
been like
Who's who list of stars everywhere.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. And so with that being said, I tell people all the time, man, like that hip hop DX, that hot new hip hop, she blogging, hip hop since 1987.
yeah.
Like
Those the
it's
real them the joints I grew up on. Like,
right. So and then you have these college kids that blog, but they blog in a different way. They don't just write, they vlog like VLOG. Like
most definitely.
they some YouTube experts, man. They're gonna put that artwork up of you. Do you know who this is? Well, let me tell you about this person. They just dropped one of the hottest new singles in the southeastern region. And so let's play a little bit so you can get a better insight. They play it, and then for more, you can follow their social media such and such. But if you want to keep up with them, subscribe to this channel. And there you go. They got probably like 5,000 new followers in the last 2 days. And then you got 5,000 new followers as well because they vlogged about you. You know what I mean? And so we call them music influencers. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's it's multiple ways to really get yourself out there. Now you have a few songs that I liked today. I think it was. Is it God's Work or?
Oh, Godspeed.
Godspeed. So let's talk about Godspeed, man. Let's talk about the track
I like that one, man.
And what you was feeling when you wrote that track, man. And was it from a emotional and mental standpoint of view, or was it something that you seen somebody else go through?
Yeah, for me, I was in a point right there where I was like trying to curate my sound differently, and I was like, man, I need to really touch on my influences of where I came from and how even my first visions of hip hop started. And a lot of people get the misconception that like it's East Coast hip hop or like boom babbers or something like that. It was like nah, it was West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Like me as a kid, that's what I heard. I'm from Sac, so that's near the Bay Area. We got a certain sound where the way our beats got a groove and thump. So I was like, man, I want to bring that out to Texas and worldwide because it'll be cool with it coming out of that pocket. You know what I mean? But Godspeed, it was just me pretty much showing where I'm trying to get, just moving different time zones. We was just traveling a lot at that point, and just I was just tapping into what was going on with me at that time. So
It's funny you say that, bro. Because I'm from South Carolina, bro. But I was born and raised in South Carolina. I lived all over. But I always had this dope love for my man Sugar Free. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
oh
Like,
yeah,
like people be like, man, man, Sugar Free, Spice One,
yeah,
Country Most Wanted, MC8.
all
You
of
know, yeah, man. So I tell people all the time, man. Some other dope music, as far as hip hop, bro. Dayton's Most Wanted out of Dayton, Ohio. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. And then that Texas, man, bro, we can go but far as back as DJ Screw when he found Lil Kiki at 13, 14 years old, and
that's history in the game
yeah,
for
yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah. So but
What's up?
yeah, man, that hip hop got to run deeper rooted, and so that Godspeed, man, like you was trying to find this new sound and create a new lane for yourself, man. And so, what are some of the the um the things that you went through as an artist, man, when trying to find that new sound and develop yourself on a broader scale?
Yeah. So really just looking at myself, it was almost like I just stripped everything off and it's like, let me just put everything on the wall and let me just review it. You know what I'm saying? And thanks, I got like good people around me who can help along in the process when I need help for that, you know what I'm saying, as well. But yeah, it was just really just an introspective thing, me thinking about really what are my goals as an artist. I had to reframe even my goals and what my intention is as an artist and where I want to go with that. Do I want to stay at this level right here and keep being like a local rising star, or do I want to take it up and be a regional or national, international act? And I was like, okay, I think I want to do that. So that's when I really came around to the conclusion of like, man, I think, man, my music's about to be universal for everybody because that's who I want to touch, with this music. So,
Mhm.
it wasn't too hard. I just really thought about, who are all the, the great artists and of different genres, and who are my favorite MCs, and what were the beats that they were on. When I look at all their hit records, not even just chasing hits, I'm just looking at most popular songs, right? That people, the classics, right? It's like what was special about this song that made people resonate with it when it first came out and still to this day years later. You know what I mean? It's like, was it the groove to it? Was it how they said this? What was it, the mix a certain way? Was it the video? It's a lot of different aspects, but really just, you know, breaking all that down and me looking at myself where I want to go and how I always wanted to do it in hip hop. It was like, okay, I think I need to make some different changes, or not even changes, really just make some adjustments and just tune some knobs on the AJ Chaka brand, and shoot, now it's really about, I like just embodying like that new school, old school sound, and on some real dope, smooth production, or some bank, some got some real substance to it, like it has a composition. You know what I mean? It's real music. It got an element where you could play it in the club or you could ride to it. You could pass it off to your homie, whoever, and that's how I like music. And I think that's something that all the great songs have. So that's what I really want to design my music based on as well.
Okay, I can dig it. I can dig it. And so, man, what other genres have influenced your sound and influenced your music and influenced how much cadence you have on a track? Besides hip hop and R&B, outside of that box, what other genres has really influenced the type of sound that you have on certain records, or the type of message that you want to get across, to the people when you're trying to engage with that target market audience.
Yeah, so I would definitely say like neo soul. I would say, man, if I never made hip hop, and I could sing well, I'd be a neo soul artist, man. But other than that, I'd definitely say like pop top 40, whatever is just the hottest songs you would hear in the store somewhere. Like, man, why is this song playing in here? What is it about this record that makes it fit to be in this area? I just break stuff down like that, and what's the song when you go into the mall in a certain stores and you hear it playing? Like, man, how'd that song get there? You know what I mean? And it's a journey through that. But really just it was like shoot pop, it was pop, I guess that stands for popular or whatever, but it's different. I guess for me, when I was looking at pop, it was like I was looking at pop from like Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Taking up to different 90s pop acts that, they had the different boy bands at that time. And even the early 2000s, you had artists like Nelly Furtado, like Gwen Stefani. I know Eve had made her transition to pop. Yeah, Missy Elliott. It was a whole bunch of different acts who was just kind of shifting to pop, in a sense. But even rock, what I mean? It was like rock, heavy metal. I always say to people, I was like, man, if you just like appreciate music, I'll tell you something about rock, man. Like they really have a really dope song structures, how they with the production. I love how they like build up a hook. Like they'll come off of a verse and really build up to the hook and make it real massive. So when they put, because like with their music, they do in the arena. So it's like when you doing it, you building it up like that in the arena, it's making the crowd's anticipation go crazy. So when they hit that hook drop, that last one, they go, bananas. And we seen that. So I was like, man, how can I capture that in a hip hop record with the style I'm making? You know what I'm saying? Or even joints like heavy metal. It's not stuff I listen to all the time, but I've listened to, you know what I mean? They're familiar. And it's like I even like the rebelliousness of it. It's like, sometimes that's even a cadence in music that I can go from, because it could be from hip hop like a Public Enemy, or it could be a group like Korn that's a heavy metal band. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they doing a different thing and breaking it down. I mean, like just the other day, I just seen Rod Stewart. You know what I'm saying? Like I think like 2 days ago. You know what I'm saying? And he just like knocked the whole roof off the venue. You know what I'm saying? And did his thing. And I'm like,
That's normal for him though, bro.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
normal. That's
Definitely.
normal. So it's funny you say about rock, man, because I'm a big Maroon 5 fan. Like
Me too.
I just
Me
really
too.
think Adam Levine could sing with the best of them, man. No matter what genre you in, he can sing with the best of them.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
And,
It was one of my favorite bands.
yeah, he dope too. So, but for me, man, when I cause I'm a writer too, so when I listen to music, man, and I grew up as a church boy, so writing songs was easy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so with that being said, man, I listen to a lot of gospel, and I listen to a lot of also music with pain in it, like Southern soul and blues.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it kind of elevates the mind to a place, because a person that has a passion for music and they have that pain, and I feel like that's what made Tupac so great. Tupac had a lyrical content, but he had a presence of pain, man. Because he felt so much pain for what our people was going through, and he seen stuff at a young age that he ain't supposed to see, with his mom. So he spoke from this discretion of the pain and agony and overcoming.
Right.
And so I feel like, a person that speaks just like your you have another song that I listened to today. I can't remember it, man, but it was like a mellow beat, and you was speaking from a different place. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. That might have been Real as It Gets.
That's it. That's definitely it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I say you were speaking it had a mellow beat, you were speaking from another place. You know exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were speaking from another place. You were speaking from another journey, another direction that you had to take. But at the same time, it brought you back to square one, and and it's like you found that place of peace. So that's what I got from that song.
Yeah, it was like I wanted to give you the situations, I wanted to give you the conclusion, and I wanted to give you how we move on from it. All in one. And that's definitely what it was for me, because I always thought like music is therapy. So for me, I think that was my first time I even made a record like that. I made some songs in the past where I might have touched on how I felt about certain things in a certain fashion. I know I made some. I got a conscious record, could have been me, but in regards to just like something from the heart, just about me, just what I'm going through, it's like, nah, I wasn't really into that. But it's like, nah, I think at this next stage of my career and just kind of where I'm taking this music now, it's like, nah, it's like, I think I got a story that can actually touch people and help them. So it's like, nah, let me go ahead and tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
yeah.
So man, it's dope though, man. Like it's dope that you can make music from every angle, and you can touch people through your craft, man. And so
Yeah,
I just want to
I
salute
appreciate
you, man.
that.
I definitely want to salute you, man. And so we're about out of time, man. So tell people how they can rock with you, how they can follow you, how they can get up with you, and tell us what you got going on next.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, appreciate you having me on here. Y'all see the name AJ Chaka, AJCHAKA. I'm everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Trill as it gets, real as it gets is out now. Both of those projects. I got a lot of dope things coming. Some more visuals for the Real as it gets album. And after that, man, is we getting into the second half of the year now, and really just gonna turn it up a notch even more, and really just show them what I really got in my bag. I got a lot of dope records now with some really unique producers in the game who's doing their thing, and the timing is great on everything. So I'm just looking forward to just continue taking everything up, with my elevation. Shout out to Neo Gold Entertainment. Shout out to MJ again. Hip Hop Connect. Shout out to the Monopoly family, Nickel Plated Music, Connected Music Group, Elegant Events PR. It's a lot of people, who tied in to this. So, shout out to all of them, you know what I mean? And so we just going to keep it rocking this year and do our thing. Yeah, I heard it from AJ Chaka.
You heard it first, man. AJ Chaka on the Exquisite Conversations podcast. Yours truly, um, King Jacob. This show is owned, sponsored, and powered by publicist Miss Nicole M. Jordan, which she's absent today, out handling some other business. But we here, man, and AJ, man, want to bring you back on a little later on, and we just want to keep up with you, man, and just saying, man, keep doing the greatness that God has put in your life, and man, continue to inspire and grow with other people because we can only inspire if we stay inspired.
Right. Thank you, bro. That,
Yes,
that
sir.
means a lot. Most definitely. Appreciate you having me on here.
Yes, sir. Peace and blessings, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Peace.
Peace.